Have you ever wondered how much of your life is directed by your habits? These seemingly small and insignificant routines are actually the invisible architects of our daily lives. They are the silent puppet masters, pulling the strings behind our decisions, behaviors, and ultimately, our destiny. Habits are the patterns etched into our psyche, shaping our character, our success, and the very essence of who we are. They may be as simple as the way we brush our teeth in the morning, or as complex as the way we react to certain situations. Our habits can be our greatest allies or our most formidable foes. Good habits can catapult us to new heights of achievement, while bad ones can tether us to the ground, holding us back from reaching our full potential. They are powerful forces that, once understood, can be harnessed to transform our lives. So how exactly can we harness the power of habits to transform our lives? Meet John, an average guy with an average life who decided he wanted more. John was every bit your typical guy. He lived a life that was comfortable but unremarkable. His days were filled with the predictable rhythm of work, home, sleep, and repeat. But beneath the surface of this ordinary existence, John was struggling. His habits, or rather his lack of good ones, were beginning to take a toll. He had a knack for putting things off, a master of the art of procrastination. Deadlines were always met, but often just by the skin of his teeth, leading to late nights, stress, and a constant feeling of playing catch-up. His work suffered, his sleep suffered, and consequently, his overall well-being did too. But that wasn't the end of it. John also had a tendency to overeat. His meals were less about nutrition and more about convenience. Fast food, microwave dinners, sugary snacks, they were his staples. The result? A sluggishness that seeped into every aspect of his life, from his energy levels to his mood and even his self-esteem. These habits, procrastination and overeating, they were comfortable, familiar, and easy. But they were also destructive. John found himself stuck in a cycle of bad habits, each one feeding off the other, leading him down a path he didn't want to tread. His productivity was at an all-time low, his health was deteriorating, and his quality of life? Well, it was far from the vibrant, fulfilling existence he yearned for. John knew he was stuck in a rut. He knew his habits were not serving him, but rather, they were holding him back. He wanted to break free, to turn things around, to live a life that was not just average but extraordinary. But wanting and doing are two different things. How could John break free from the chains of his unhealthy habits? John knew he needed a change, but how? That's where the power of habits comes in. John embarked on a journey of changing his habits, one small step at a time. This wasn't an overnight shift, but rather, a gradual process of swapping out old, unproductive habits with new beneficial ones. John began by identifying the habits he wanted to change. He didn't try to overhaul everything at once. Instead, he started small, focusing on one habit at a time, understanding that it's easier to make and maintain minor adjustments than drastic changes. He decided to replace his habit of hitting the snooze button multiple times each morning with the habit of getting up at the first alarm. To make this transition easier, he moved his alarm clock across the room. This simple tweak forced him to physically get out of bed to turn off the alarm, making it less tempting to crawl back under the covers. To keep track of his progress, John used a habit tracker. This tool allowed him to visually see his consistency and progress over time. Each day he successfully woke up at the first alarm, he marked off a box on his tracker. Seeing the streak of checked boxes motivated him to keep going, turning his new behavior into a solid habit. John didn't stop there. Once he had firmly established his new waking up habit, he moved on to the next one, replacing late-night snacks with a healthier alternative. Again, he started small, swapping out just one snack at a time. As he did with his alarm clock habit, he used his habit tracker to monitor his progress. Over time, these small changes started making a significant difference in John's life. He began waking up feeling more refreshed and energized, ready to seize the day. His late-night snacking habit was replaced with healthier options, leading to improved physical health and well-being. John's transformation is a testament to the power of habits. It wasn't a quick, dramatic change, but a slow and steady journey of replacing old habits with new ones. John transformed his life, not overnight, but over time through the power of habits. Fast forward a year, and John was living a life he could never have imagined. He was now a man reborn, a phoenix rising from the ashes of his old self. John's health had improved significantly. His once sluggish mornings had become energetic starts to his days. He no longer relied on caffeine and sugar to fuel his body, but instead nourished it with balanced, wholesome meals. His sleep was sound, his energy levels were steady, and his physical health was in top form. His doctor was amazed, saying that he had never seen such a drastic improvement in a patient's health in such a short time. But the transformation wasn't just physical. John was more productive than he had ever been. He was no longer a slave to procrastination and distractions. He had developed a laser-like focus that allowed him to accomplish his tasks efficiently and effectively. His work performance soared, earning him accolades and promotions. His colleagues and superiors marveled at his newfound dedication and productivity. His self-esteem, too, had undergone a remarkable change. The man who once avoided his reflection in the mirror now walked with a newfound confidence. He carried himself differently, spoke with conviction, and held his head high. He was proud of the person he had become, but let's be clear, this transformation was not born of luck or a magical overnight change. No, John's success was the result of diligent and consistent efforts to change his habits. Every day, he made the conscious decision to choose beneficial habits over detrimental ones. He understood that these small daily choices were the building blocks of his new life. And so, John's story is not just about the change in his habits, but about the power of habits themselves. It's about the incredible transformations that can happen when we take control of our habits and consciously steer them in a direction that benefits us. John's story is a testament to the transformative power of habits. Now it's your turn. What habits are you ready to change? Let's take a moment to reflect on our own habits. We all have them, those little routines we follow without giving them much thought. Some of them serve us well, while others, perhaps not so much. So think about it. What habits do you have that might be holding you back? Perhaps it's reaching for a sugary snack when you're stressed, or maybe it's putting off tasks until the last minute. Once you've identified these habits, consider how you could replace them with more positive ones. For instance, instead of reaching for that candy bar when you're feeling overwhelmed, why not take a short walk or practice a few minutes of mindfulness instead? And rather than procrastinating, why not break your tasks down into manageable chunks? Now, this might sound straightforward, but we all know that changing habits is anything but easy. It requires effort, commitment, and above all, patience. So, here are a few practical tips to help you along the way. Firstly, set clear and achievable goals. If you want to start exercising, for example, don't aim to run a marathon right off the bat. Instead, start with a short daily walk and gradually build up from there. Secondly, start small. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither are good habits. It's much easier to start with small changes and gradually increase them over time than to try and overhaul your entire lifestyle in one fell swoop. And finally, be consistent. Consistency is key when it comes to forming new habits. So, make a commitment to yourself to stick to your new routine, even when it gets tough. Remember, change might not be easy, but it is possible, and it starts today. So let's take this journey together, one step at a time, one habit at a time. Let's make the conscious decision to improve our lives, to grow, and to become the best versions of ourselves. Because after all, isn't that what life is all about? So, are you ready to take control of your habits and transform your life? Let's take a moment to reflect on the power of habits. They are the invisible architecture of our lives, silently shaping our daily experiences and ultimately, our destiny. We've seen how John harnessed this power, turning his life around, creating a ripple effect of positive change. Now it's your turn. Don't let inertia hold you back. Remember, you don't need to be perfect or make massive changes overnight. It's about taking the first step, however small, towards a better you. It could be as simple as reading a chapter of a book every day, or waking up 10 minutes earlier. Each small action, each new habit, is a stepping stone towards your transformation. It's time to seize the reins of your own life. Start today, start now, because a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.